So hi and welcome to D&D. So, as it currently stands at the moment, we travel on the 11th of November, staying at Dockside for 2 weeks. The plan is to try and get at least one day Epic Universe ticket. I've had a look at the prices and they've come down phenomenally compared to what they were when I looked at the beginning of the year. Now, we are only on the 18th of February. Ooh, the F175 starts tonight, don't ask. It's just clicked in my head. So, I am parked up. I'm waiting for Paul coming out of an appointment. So, what have I learned in the last 24 hours? Travelling with somebody with diabetes is going to be a pain in the royal behind. So, it turns out that the sensor that Paul has in his arm to pay attention to his blood sugars, if you go through an x-ray machine, it fries the sensor. Now, would it be easier just to take his sensor off and put a new one on before we fly? Yeah, probably. But it also means that we're going through x-ray machines. I've been really, really lucky that a couple of people have come forward to tell me that you need to go through a scanner at Universal Property and Disney Springs. I completely forgot about them. So I have emailed Universal this morning regarding it, to see whether there is a way of going round getting a pat down instead of going through the scanners. That obviously it is, what, it's 12 minutes past 10 now. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. I'm not expecting a response till at least this evening from Universal, which is fine, it's not an issue. God, I look exhausted. I feel exhausted today, but I'm not. I'm alright. So, what have we learned? We need a medical documentation to say that Paul's going to be carrying medical equipment, which I have been in touch. Well, I've tried to ring Tui. Let's try and get you stood up. We're a bit we're a bit wonky, but we're all right. So I've rang Tui this morning. I'm waiting for them to get back to me regarding flying with insulin. Obviously, we're going to have to kind of pre-warn them that Paul's coming with more than 100, I think it's 100, is it 100 mils of insulin? And we can't put his insulin into the whole baggage because, again, if it freezes, we can't use it. So it's got to stay in his hand luggage. So he's going to be travelling with a lot more liquid than he should because he's taking an awful lot of insulin in a day. I know 100 mils quite a lot, but when you've got 2 weeks worth of insulin that we need to carry, it's a lot. Now, I could, in hindsight, spread it across all four of us, but it's not anybody else's problem. It's mine and Paul's to deal with, so we're going to do that. So, we need to get, obviously, medical documentation to say that he's carrying insulin and needles. We also need to get medical documentation to say that he has medical equipment on him, which is the Libra sensor. I didn't expect it to be this hard, but obviously it is. So I've been in touch with the doctors. I've asked them to write a letter regarding what medication he's on, what insulin he needs to take, how much insulin he needs to take. I then need to put something together regarding pre-planning his prescription, making sure that we've got enough insulin for the whole 2 weeks that we're there, making sure we've got enough medication for him for the whole 2 weeks we're there. Same with my medication. What else do I need to do? I've emailed Universal. The other thing I've emailed Universal about is I've asked for when we went the year before, I asked for upper rooms. Just because I've watched reviews and things like that, and the one thing that came back with about Dockside was you need to be up on an upper floor. And away from the lifts. Now, I requested that last time we flew, and they did that. They were really gracious, but I did ask for us to be put together or close together. And Ryan and Deanne were on a floor below us, pretty much in the same room, just right below us. And we ended up next door to Out in a Limb Family Vlogs. Go and have a look at their channel. And to be fair, they were really great because the walls aren't predominantly thick, you know, you can't really hear much, but if you're having a full-blown argument, excuse me, then you'd be able to hear it, I'm sure. You know, and we were very, very cautious of Lee and Sarah next door, and they were very cautious of me and Paul. You know, you're not always going to get that. You're not always going to get somebody that thinks about other people, you know, but it is what it is. So I've asked for us to be put up on an upper floor, away from the lifts, and preferably together. Now, as it currently stands, there is actually 6 of us travelling. The other 2 are other family members. You probably won't see them on the vlogs. You may get a glimpse here, there and everywhere. But they're not into the filming and stuff like that. So we're going to try and keep them out as much as we possibly can. We are attempting to do Universal for one day. Now, I'm not expecting to get on any rides at Universal. If I want to get on something, I'm aiming for the Wizarding World. But ultimately, we're there to see it. Me and Paul will be flying back to Florida in 2026. Not sure when in 26, but we will be flying back to Florida in 26 because I turned 40 that year. So ultimately, that's all I want. I don't want a party. I don't want fuss. I don't want to be the centre of attention. Get me out to Florida and I'm happy. But yeah, as it currently stands at the moment, we are going through what we need to carry, what we need to have medical equipment wise. I've also got 2 cards that I've got from the aviation website. It's not the aviation website. Basically, the airports run on a governing body, and they've got 2 cards. One that says he carries medical insulin, one that says he carries medical equipment. Which obviously, for those that don't know what medical equipment is, if you're diabetic, you can carry a medical pump. Paul doesn't have one of them, but he does have a medical sensor. That sensor gives us access to what Paul's blood sugars are at that moment. Now, going through an X-ray fries them sensors. Didn't know that until I did some research into it. I do need to contact, I know it fries the insulin pump. I'm going to contact Libra, who the sensor is with, and ask them what it happens when you go through X-ray. What I don't want to do is get Paul's sensor fried and then it give him wrong readings all day and then Paul pass out on me. Obviously, we need to update his insurance. We do have insurance with the bank, which covers me, Paul and Deanne. It covered us when we went, not last year, the year before, and it'll cover us again this year. Obviously, we need to add Paul's diabetes to that. To be fair, it's more stressful travelling with somebody with diabetes than it is normally, because normally it's just get on the plane and done, but we can't really do that this time. Coffee, cold coffee. Iced coffee, I should say. So there's a lot to think about. I've got my paper, what I call my paper tablet, up and running with information that I need to do. So while Paul's in his medical appointment, I'm just going to sit here and get through as much of this as I possibly can. So yeah, that's it. You pretty much have an update, and it's took me 8 minutes to tell you all that. So that's what's happening right now. If you've got any advice on travelling with diabetes, don't hesitate to send me a message. We would be more than happy to take on any other information that we can get, because this is the first time that we'll be travelling with somebody with such a medical condition. Obviously I have my own medical conditions, but they're not as bad as carrying needles and insulin through security and things like that, and predominantly, you know, stuff being fried through an X-ray. So anybody that's got information, we are more than happy to take on what information you can give us. So have a great day, and I'll be back with another update once I know what's going on. Bye for now.